Hello everyone and welcome to this FreeCAD tutorial in which we are going to see how to add fasteners to our projects using the assembly for Workbench. Also we are going to see how to make the fasteners follow our animations. Prior to make this video I found this information useful. This post from the FreeCAD forum and this tweet from Oficina Robotica. When you are working with assemblies, you may want to use fasteners to join the different parts together. In the assembly for Workbench, we have a built-in fasteners function to add fasteners and nuts to our project. So let's start. Within the assembly for Workbench, click on the assembly part and then click on the fasteners button and click on screw. A screw object will appear in the tree as a child of the assembly part. You can change the parameters of the screw to make the screw you need. You can change the diameter, the length and the type of fastener. You can also change the color of the fastener. So click in the screw, do right click and then click on appearance. Now in the material, I will choose Metallize. Now click close. Now we are gonna place the screw on its position. Click on the screw and then click on Edit Placement of a part. This will open a menu in which we need to select the part at which we need to attach the screw. Also we need to select the local coordinate system. In my case is TL. As you can see, we need to set an offset in order to put the screw on its place. In this case is 6.35 mm. Now the next thing that we are going to do is to clone the screw. To do this, right click on the screw, link actions and make a link. This creates a link object with different properties. We need to click on element count and put 15. Now we have 15 child screws. Now what we need to do is to change the local coordinates of each screw relative to the main screw. We find these values in the link section, placement, position, X, Y and Z. One way is to right click on the screw, click on transform. It will appear a set of arrows. You can click and drag the arrows in order to move the fasteners. Depending on the positions in which the fasteners were placed, it could be or not easy to put it on its place. So alternatively, you can manually modify the X, Y and Z values. If you already know the dimensions of your part, this will be much easier. Now let's create another screw. If you didn't click at the assembly part before making click on the fasteners button, you can click and drag the screw to the assembly. There is an important catch while creating the link screws. You have to create the links after positioning the screw on its place. When the link is created, it takes the position of the original screw, meaning that if the screw is in a random position, you will have to deal with the relative position and also with the orientation. We can see here the position of the original screw. The link screws takes the orientation of the original screw, so we'll have to rotate them. After placing the original screw on its position, We can try to put the other screws on their places. There is an important thing to note. If we try to use the relative positions from our planes, will not match. And that is because the link was created in the previous position of the screw, meaning that the positions of the screws are relative to that position, not the new position of the screw. As you can see, the position of the links is not in the new position of the screw. So the best thing that we can do is to delete the links and create new ones. Now we will create 3 new screws that will take their coordinates relative to the main screw that is already on its correct position. So, summarizing, we need to select our assembly, then click on fasteners and then on screw. We change the properties of the screw, then we move the screw using the edit placement of a part button. And we use the local coordinate systems to join the parts. Once the main screw is on its position, we proceed to create the link. We change the element count, and finally the coordinates are changed. Let's check one last thing with the animations. When we create our assemblies, we use the link function in order to add multiple units of the same part. That's what we did with the fasteners. Also, I did it with these aluminum profiles and with the sliding nuts. But as you can see on this animation, the fasteners don't move. We used the same technique to add the fasteners and also to add the sliding nuts and also the aluminum profiles. But as you can see, the fasteners are not moving. It may exist some problem with the fasteners. Fortunately, there is one way to make this animation. What I did, it was to create a new assembly that consists of 2 sub-assemblies. As you can see in the tree, there is a bed top file and there is a bed bottom file. These files are this: bed top that has aluminum profiles, fasteners, nuts, lineal bearings, spacers, the plate, and this other file that have rods, lead screw, block pillow bearings, and these shaft holders. In this animation, what I did was to add the variable to the sub-assembly that moves. In this case, here in assembly, attachment offset, position, and Y, here is the variable called YVAL. This variable moves all the sub-assembly with all the parts joined. As you can see, this animation works as expected. all the parts move together. Maybe there is a bug in how the positions of the fasteners are handled. As you know, all the parts must have a FreeCAD file, and maybe that's the reason, because the fasteners don't have a file. In conclusion, we can say that the fasteners add a great visual aesthetics to our projects, and also is very helpful to have a list of the used fasteners in the bill of materials. One last thing, if you are interested in the project, you can check it below. That's all for this video, and thanks for watching.